is a birth certificate. The birth certificate of the largest ship the world has ever seen. Her name is Queen Elizabeth, and her gross tonnage, since in this case it is quite proper to mention the lady's weight, is 83,500 tons. So let's go down to Southampton and join the escort tug going out to meet her by the Isle of Wight. Oh, there she is. Look at the grace of her and the perfection of line. Direct descendant from the Mayflower and the wooden paddle steamers of 100 years ago, every kind of mechanical and engineering skill has been used to make the Atlantic crossing more speedy, more comfortable, and more nearly independent of Atlantic weather. From 100 passengers in 1847 and a single journey time of from 10 to 12 days, or, if it was stormy, more than 20 days, the Queen Elizabeth makes the 6,000-mile round trip between Southampton and New York regularly twice a month. Every time she docks, she puts ashore and takes aboard more than 2,300 passengers. And while ship and tug are still underway, a gangway is run across and pilot, health, and customs officers hurry on board. This way, a lot of time will be saved when she finally docks. Even some bags of express mail and telegrams have been brought along. But we're soon away again, for she must get in on the peak of the tide. Here comes Pilot Smith. He's the man that's responsible for guiding her up the 6-mile channel right into her berth. So, from now on, the steering is directed by the pilot. And when you consider that the channel is no wider than the length of the ship, you'll realize just how skillful he has to be. A touch of this wheel moves the 140-ton rudder by hydroelectric pressure. A ship of this size needs extra help in the final docking. So the little tugs take hold, and in she comes. All 83,500 tons of her. again. And after 5 days and nights of continuous work, the 200,000 horsepower engines can rest for a while. No one may leave the ship until the port customs and medical authorities have gone on board and received clear reports from the officers already there. Once they are satisfied, they give authority for disembarkation, or pratique as it's called. And off they begin to come, back to the old country. Some home for good, some for a while only, and others for a very first visit. But the bank on board still has business on hand. Some will visit the post office for a letter, or one of the thousands of telegrams handled every voyage. And of course, there's a regular surge to the telephones, keeping the ship's exchange hard at work. For with landlines connected, there's still business of the ship. And it's London, Manchester, Plymouth, Glasgow. But it's time to be going. And of course, the stewards will help to carry your bags. And with everyone lending a hand, the pile soon grows. Much of the heavy baggage is coming off too. And with 6 special trains, all are soon away on the very last lap. Only 3 days in port. But that's enough for a spot of leave, and most of the crew get a voyage off once in every 5 trips. Some 300 or so get away every time, but before they go, they must sign off. They get their pay and overtime. Then they sign on again for the following voyage. And that's quite a job in itself for the paymaster staff. Even railway tickets are supplied on board. And now, having accounted for passengers and crew, let's take a look around the ship. Here's the main hall. It runs the whole width of the ship. And the great lounge with its many examples of British art. This representation of the Canterbury Pilgrims is carried out in 66 different kinds of veneer. Now, being a lady, she's naturally very particular about her appearance. She demands to be painted, not once or twice a year, but every single time she docks at home. Sometimes it's 30 tons of paint, but always several hundred gallons. And the very best quality, too. This beauty treatment constitutes a heavy item in her upkeep. And as for her general toilet, it's fresh water for the windows, and with decks like this, 700 feet long, it's scrub, 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 and scrub again. Before every voyage, the entire crew, from officers to page boys, are inspected under Ministry of Transport orders. The medical officer and the Board of Trade officials are present, and there's no better chance of studying the types that man this great ship. As soon as this is over, there is practice with the boats, all of them power-driven, by the way. And then a quick return to duty. And this lady has a healthy appetite. Close to 7,000 tons of fuel oil and thousands of gallons of fresh water. Then, of course, there's crockery. She likes her service to be just so. And with 2,300 to breakfast, luncheon, tea, and dinner, replacements are an item that have to be considered. Now, this is an important conference. The chef and the chief steward are working out menus for the voyage. These are all set up in a full-size linotype machine, just the same as is supplied to the national daily papers. In the library, there are so many books to choose from, and in so many languages, too, that you might easily spend the entire voyage looking over the titles without reading one of them. In the cinema, the latest type of projectors have been installed, so that you needn't lose touch with the stars. There's room for 350, and shows go on at all times of the day. Very welcome on board is the ship's own gardener, who probably has a secret urge to ripen tomatoes, or should I say tomatoes, in the wheelhouse. But that must remain a dream, while he plants a bed like this to hold a lovely bronze that's in the main hall. And talking of dreams and beds, these are some of the staterooms. Perhaps Madam would like this one. Or this. Or what about this one? First of hundreds of bouquets sent on board as parting gifts. And here they come, first of the many who come by road and by rail, the first stage of a great adventure. From now on till nearly sailing time, there will be a constant stream of them spreading all over the ship. Now here's one of the cute spots on board. It's one of the special nurseries where Mother can leave her younger set in care of a trained nurse. Or perhaps they can even get a lesson in navigation. As long as the landlines are through, there's another last message home, or perhaps his home's abroad. Let's try the radio. The Queen Elizabeth has a very special installation. This is the transmitter room, and he can reach any country in the world which has an international telephone exchange. Yes, it's nearly time to go. For some, it's goodbye, but for all, it's adventure. And it's easy to keep your spirits up in a place like this. Meet Captain Ford, a regular master, who has just returned from a hard-earned leave. He's off now to take her out, for she must sail dead on time. Every modern device for safety. The 200,000 horses are all ready to go. And here are the men to run them, part of the staff of over 250. And so majestic that it seems as if the land itself were backing away from her as she moves out. But that, of course, is precisely how one should take one's leave of a queen.